Let me start you all off with a question today. Have you ever left a conversation feeling like you didn't quite say what you meant to? Or have you perhaps nodded along at a meeting with many beautiful ideas circling around your mind, but you decided to stay silent? Well, what if you didn't? How could that moment of honesty have changed the outcome of that conversation? Well, I could think of a few reasons why we choose to hold back sometimes. In our day-to-day communication, we fear conflict, we fear misunderstanding, and we fear discomfort. And even in some professional settings, like in meetings, sometimes we think that holding back our comments might be the polite thing to do. Well, I would like to suggest to you that I don't think that silence could do more harm than honesty ever could. In fact, it might just be the opposite. So, let's think this. Some of the most impactful speakers you have listened to have left with you some of the most lasting thoughts. And those speakers did not hold back. They stayed authentic to who they were in that moment. And Audre Lorde was one of those people. As her career as a poet and a writer has left us with many lasting thoughts. But I would like to focus on a specific one. Her work, The Cancer Journals, has entirely reframed the discourse around illness. It is because of her visceral and raw and honest description of her battle with breast cancer that many women are able to have these conversations today. But for Lorde, it was about more than just self-expression. It was also about extending an invitation to every single one of her readers to engage in deeper, more meaningful dialogue, especially about topics we choose to avoid. So why am I talking about to all of you about this today? I think that if we all try radical honesty, we might extend this invitation to everyone around us. And so let's start with the basics. What is radical honesty, and how could you try it, especially in situations where you might feel uncomfortable? Well, the way I see it, radical honesty is a way of communicating that's centered in building trust and strengthening relationships. It is not about being blunt. It is not about saying everything that's on your mind. But it's about intentionality. It is about choosing honesty to, alleviate conflict and strengthen relationships. But let me tell you this. One thing radical honesty is not is comfortable. Because let's face it, some of the most transformative conversations are the hardest ones to have. And so how can you do this today, or maybe tomorrow, whenever you have your next difficult conversation? I would like to think that this is not just my challenge. I believe that asking for things that we need, like clearer instructions from a professor, or maybe, advice from a friend, or even feedback from a boss, can be really hard. We tend to hold ourselves back because we're afraid of how we might be perceived. And I've dealt with this myself. As an undergraduate researcher at a neuroscience lab, a predominantly male space, I struggled getting consistent feedback from my mentor. And I knew that if I didn't speak up or say anything, nothing would have changed. And it also made me feel like it was holding me back from professional development and really growing to be a part of the team. So what did I do to change it? Well, I took these 3 simple steps, and let me show you how I did it. So first, I decided to really pinpoint the challenge and the source of the discomfort in our professional relationship. And that was, plainly, the lack of communication. The second step was a little bit more difficult. I had to really find a way to make this challenge a source of connection. How did I even think about extending this as an invitation for us to create a new, more positive conversation? And lastly, I really had to put it all together and say it out loud. I had to step over my fear of being misunderstood or misheard. And I said, hey, I feel like we don't have enough time to really talk about my work. And perhaps if we allocated an hour a week, we could have achieved greater results working collaboratively. And let me tell you, that one comment, that one step towards them, changed my entire professional dynamic at the lab. Not only did it create a stronger mentor-mentee relationship built on trust and reliability, it also created a professional dynamic where he saw me as capable and not just another assistant. But beyond all the wonderful things this did to our professional relationship, it also reminded me about the value of advocating for myself, especially when no one else could do it for me. And let's face it, I think this entirely changed my perspective on the way you can build stronger professional relationships. But I don't think radical honesty stops there. I would like to urge you all here today, next time you're faced with a challenging conversation, pause, take a minute, and think, what could this one moment of honesty change right now? And I would probably bet that you would feel a little bit more confident and a little bit more impact in the way that you communicate. And I would like to leave you with this. Remember, radical honesty is not about saying everything. It is about saying what truly matters to you. Thank you.